Hey, what's happening, gamers? It's me, K-Wife, and I'd like to make a video where I kind of show you guys how I make one of Luke's favorite soups ever. So this is the black bean soup. It has tons of vitamins and minerals in it. It actually has like lots of bell peppers, black beans, onions. It has some bacon, and I make it with turkey broth. You guys can make it at home with chicken broth because Luke cannot have chicken or any kind of chicken broth. He has a very bad reaction to it, so hopefully some of his family that keeps forgetting that will listen. So anyway, let's get started. We're gonna make this awesome black bean soup. You can find this recipe in several different places on the internet, but Luke likes the way that I make it here best. Okay, so we are just starting out. We are going to need these ingredients. You're actually going to need some onions. So I've got some onions here. I have not washed them off yet. And I know you don't usually have to wash onions, but because of the whole quarantine thing, I am rinsing everything off. Better safe than sorry is what I say. You're going to need 4 cans of black beans. You're also going to need some bacon, however much bacon that you want. You're going to need some cumin because that is the main taste of this. It's going to make it have like a taco-y black bean taste. You're probably going to need, oh, you know what? I don't know if you need chili powder or not. I'm going to go look that up in the recipe, actually. But you definitely are going to need some garlic powder or garlic, and some pepper, salt, and definitely the black beans. And you're going to need some broth. So I'm going to have about probably two and a half quarts of broth and 4 things of black beans. You're not going to need all these bell peppers, but I'm going to be using some of these to make some other soups. And so I have my bacon right here. We are going to chop it up. As you can see, I am chopping it into really small little pieces. I'm probably going to cut these in half actually, so we're going to put them as small as possible as we're actually going to blend this soup up in the end. So I'm going to keep chopping that, and remember, probably the more bacon you put in your soup, the more flavor it's going to have. You probably only need 3 or 4 big slices of bacon. As you can see, I chopped up all my bacon there. I might not use all of it, but we'll see. And also, I had a few slices left. So these are very wide cut. I had to get whatever they had at the store. So this is not the brand I usually get. So Luke really wanted pancakes with bacon. So I'm just going to microwave these and put them in the microwave. I put paper towels on either side. As my bacon is microwaving, I'm just showing you guys. Please excuse the mess in my kitchen. I have very limited space. I got this cart for $20 on Amazon, trying to get all the stuff that I need into my kitchen. And I have this other spice rack here which didn't really work out. So as you can see, it's very difficult right now for me to organize my kitchen. I have absolutely no space. So if you guys see kind of stuff piled up on itself, that is why. Alright, so as you can see, we've got our bacon chopped, we've got our onion chopped, and we have our, the rest of our bacon I just made so that I can make Luke pancakes with it when he wakes up. So I'm going to be cutting some of the peppers. Some of these aren't in the best shape. So, but we'll see what we have to deal with. So we've kind of had to go with what we can get since we're like just picking up groceries from the quarantine thing. So as you can see, like I kind of did that. I chopped this part I can completely get rid of, and this part I can completely get rid of. And these other parts, one thing I learned in culinary school is that if you just chop off this white area it will be bitter. So like that inside seam, you want to get rid of that. And then we're going to figure out if we're going to keep this with the weird stuff there. So we're going to chop these and then put them in a bowl, and then we'll be right back. We have our stuff chopped, and we put 1 can of black beans in here. We're going to drain 4 cans of black beans. So that's 2, 3, and 4. And my cat Zelda is all over me at this point. Okay, we're just gonna make sure we get everything out of the cans. I have stuff left over. I'm just using whatever canned beans they had at the store, because with the whole quarantine mess going on, they don't have... Get down, Zelda, please. Okay, my cat is literally up on there. You just want to drain all of these beans. Get the water all in there. Make sure that they get completely rinsed, because they do have this weird film on them when they're in the can. You want to make sure if you're going to touch them, then make sure your hands are washed. I did wash my hands, so I wash my hands like so many times a day now because of the whole viral thing. Okay, so we basically have all the ingredients we need, except for I don't have my can of tomatoes up here. I have my onions chopped. I have my bell peppers chopped. I've got my bacon here. I don't have a specific amount of things that you need. I can look up, try to look it up online of the recipes that I went off of. I kind of did a combination between Chef John's from Food Wishes and Clean, I think it was called like Clean, Simple, and Delicious or something. The girl's name is, lady's name is Danny that does it. So right now we're just going to... Okay, so we got our pot here. The only burner that works in my house is the one back in the back there. So, all right. The other burners like make a bad smell, so I'm just gonna put some olive oil. You know, some people say put a tablespoon of olive oil, but whatever. So, what I usually do, some people say like start the bacon first. I'm just gonna start the onions first. I don't know why. Maybe I'm a rebel. All right, so we are going to turn on our pot there, and we're going to put some onions in. I don't know if I'm going to use all of these onions. We might. So we've got a fair amount of onions. Usually when you use one whole onion, and I pretty much did. Sometimes I leave my extra scraps in case I want to make eggs in the morning, stuff like that. So what I usually do with my bacon is I'm going to take a handful of bacon and just put it in here. Might need a little bit more. There we go. So I think we have enough. Yeah, so about that much, and then we are going to just continue to kind of let those cook together in the bacon fat until the onions become translucent, and we're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to that. But I cannot hold the camera and of the salt and pepper, so you're just going to have to imagine me. Salt, pepper. Okay, we'll be back in a second. Okay, as you can see, the onions are sweating out. They're becoming a little translucent. So we're just going to let it cook a little bit longer. I don't really have a set time. It all depends on like your pan and a lot of different things. I have it on semi-medium heat. And basically, one thing I did learn in culinary school, which made me understand why I kind of detest cooking in my kitchen so much, the pans that we have, many people have with this coating on them. This is like a stoneware coating. Yeah, that coating actually makes it take longer to heat up the food. So like in a professional kitchen, you would not have that coating on your pan. So someday I am going to try to replace all my pans with non-coated pans. It's also easier to put in the oven if it doesn't have a coating. Only problem is it has more potential to burn if there's no coating, but for me, if I'm sitting here watching it, there's no way it's going to burn. So make sure you watch it and you'll be fine. So we're going to let that go for a little bit longer and we'll come back. It's looking really nice and translucent, so we're going to add our other vegetables. These are our bell peppers. Most recipes that do this black bean soup tell you to use about 3 different bell peppers. We have about 3, maybe 2.5. We might have to add another one, but this is pretty good. So we're just going to mix it around in here and let it let it cook down. I also added some more cumin, some garlic powder. You can add fresh garlic, it makes it even better, but I seem to never be able to use fresh garlic before it goes out, and before it's basically goes bad. So I just use garlic powder, or I use freeze-dried garlic sometimes. You can put some oregano in, that's great, and optional chili powder. I put a tiny bit of this in, you do not have to put any in. Salt and pepper, and you are good to go. So main thing you want in here is the cumin, or cumin, however you pronounce it, and the oregano, garlic, cumin, oregano, garlic, salt, and pepper. So you want to remember those. Okay, we're going to turn up the heat a little bit, and we're going to let that simmer for a little bit. So now you're probably going to add about 1 or 2 somewhat small cans of tomatoes. I don't have any small cans because I don't really do that. It's much cheaper to get the big can. So I have crushed tomatoes right here. I just throw a bunch in. That's probably a lot, and we have about, I don't know, I throw about half the can in there. So, I mean, for me, I kind of do it by ear or whatever when I'm doing cooking. Okay, now we're gonna put our quarts in. You can, what you want is 2 quarts of chicken broth, or stock is actually better. So we've got 1 quart. This is turkey stock, but this does the trick because Luke cannot have chicken, so it works for me. And we're gonna have the 2nd quart. It's kind of hard for me to do this without, with one hand, but the times where I cook and stuff like that are the times where Luke is sleeping, and he also does not like to be awake when I use the stove. That's why I have to be up really early. Haven't really cooked a lot recently, so I'm just gonna put some of the beans in here, guys. But just give me a second because it's kind of hard to do this with one hand. We've got our beans in here. We've got our chopped bacon that we cooked. We've got our vegetables. Now we're gonna let this cook for a bit. It will actually cook faster if we blend it outright. I do not know why my stove is making such a weird noise, to be honest, but that's just how my this apartment is. It's just insane. We're gonna put a little bit of oregano there. Somehow I am doing this with one hand. I don't know how. Get your garlic powder here, and you want to make sure you get some more cumin in there. When I first made this soup a few times, it didn't taste right, and what I had to do was add more cumin to it. So the cumin is a huge part of it. It makes it taste really good. This is a great soup because my husband can eat this, even though it's very hard for him to eat most things besides cereal. And you guys haven't seen the last part of it, because what we're going to do is we're going to blend it together. So that's pepper there. We're going to put a little salt on top, and we're going to blend this together. Okay, so I've got my handy dandy blender here. I just have to put it together. I'm able to put this part through the washing machine, and I'm able to put, or not a washing machine, I don't know what brand this is. It says Aventi. It's a really cheap brand, so I'm able to get it. I think I was able to get it for like $13. So pretty cool device for like 13 bucks. If you don't have one of these thingies, and yeah, I think a piece of something got in the, I think one of my chunks of stuff got in my burner. If you don't have one of these, you can purchase a blender, like actual blender, but that's very dangerous if the soup is hot to put it in there. That's why I like using this. So I'll show you guys in just a second. Okay, let's go for it. And then you'll notice it will get stuck, so you're gonna have to unstick all that stuff that's stuck in there. As you can hear, we blended that up. It's helping it to get hotter a lot faster, and we're actually putting on it high now because it really wasn't taking off before. So we're gonna put the soup on high for a little bit. Once it starts simmering, I'm gonna probably put a lid on it and have it simmer for about 20 minutes or so. And I'm gonna get the sour cream Some people put that in on the end. I just put it in the soup. That way it's in every bowl full of the soup. So I'm going to put some of that in. So we're just going to add however much sour cream that you want. Sometimes I add like one little tiny carton of sour cream. So yeah, I mean, you can add quite a bit. And then if you add this sour cream, you really don't feel the need to add like any... You can add cheddar cheese on top, but you don't have to. So that's what I add, is the sour cream. Sometimes what I do is I will actually use the blender and stir it again after I put the sour cream in. And that is pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. I can show you guys when it finally is done what it actually looks like. So it looks really nice and blended. I mean, you can see a little particles in there, but overall looks really, really nice. I don't know, I kind of wanted to like end this like really fancy or something, but this is basically what it looks like. You can put cheese on top of it, scallions. I think it looks okay. You can blend this more if you want. And I usually keep it simmering for, I don't know, 15 minutes at least to 30. I would probably simmer for at least 10 to 15 minutes more than it is already. So let's give it a try. Yeah, that's really good. I mean, I could add a little bit of cumin to it. But part of it is that it might I could add a little cheese on top. It's really delicious. During the whole pandemic thing, this is a really good soup because it has your protein that you need. And it also has, bell peppers actually have more vitamin C than an orange in them. So these are really healthy for you. They have a lot of vitamin C. And so, it's a really good thing. You have 3 bell peppers, you make it into a black bean soup. Black beans are really inexpensive, something that you used to be able to find on store shelves. But if you can find it, make sure you get yourself lots of extra bell peppers, onions, black beans, a little bit of cumin. If you can find any kind of tomatoes. I use crushed tomatoes, but you can use actually diced whatever because you're going to blend it anyway. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll try to do an outro here. Let's see what happens. Thank you guys so much for watching my kitchen vlog today. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and until next time, God bless and happy gaming. See ya!